One of the things that we know from the resident surveys that we've done for 4 years now is that people do want jobs. They are really important things to them, and they want to do things about it. They're not prepared to just sit back and hope that the central government, in this case, gets it right.
There are always going to be people who believe local government's role should only be in providing drainage, clean water, rubbish collections, those sorts of things, parks, libraries. I believe local government has a much wider role, and that is to stimulate and facilitate the economy through various things which ensure at the end of the day that there's a vibrant economy with good employment numbers.
In this program, we cross the Tasman to look at the way the local government of the New Zealand cities of Wellington and Christchurch have developed an innovative and holistic approach to economic development and job creation. This approach includes the provision of a number of small business support services, an active calendar of events and festivals, and positive enforcement of the community's self-image. By the use of a wide range of strategies, the local governments of these two cities have achieved significant economic growth and have managed to turn around a situation of high unemployment.
I'm a very firm believer that cities have a role to play in economic development. I think it's a core business. I think that to just fix the potholes and provide the water supply isn't enough these days. And to supply certainty of future for people, you have to look at their economic future. I think if you're looking to start, I would say start with the small business sector, because you can learn the ropes by doing that. You're growing your own people, you're giving a future for them, you're helping them. You can then start looking at services to help your existing business expand. The last part of the work I'd say to you can do is you can try and attract inward investment. But I do that last, after you've done the first two things, because one, it's very difficult, it's very expensive, and you've probably got to know your local business community before you can attract investment to it.
In Wellington, the Capital Development Agency is the organisation responsible for putting Council's policy of growing local business and creating employment into action.
Well, we see about 1,200 clients a year who come up through the lifts there and into our front counter, and our front staff are trained to assess really what those people's needs are. And we can offer a smorgasbord of services. I have marketers, I have people who are good on tax, I have people who are good on people in a startup situation. So we can match people to our staff and provide a very wide range of services. If they get to the stage where they're operating, we can get them out and offer them premises to start their business. So we have about 80 little premises we lease to them, and they can take them on short-term leases. To keep them happy, we have business clubs so they can network with each other, flog each other products. We have a thing called company rebuilders, just in case they get into trouble and start to fall over, we can have somebody there to help them through that process. We have a mentor scheme where we might get somebody a little bit wiser who's been around a bit more and say, look, would you be prepared to look over this person's shoulder as they start their business? So it's that whole range of services, and I think that's our trick. We don't just offer one thing, we offer them access to the whole smorgasbord. And I don't know which one actually works. I can't actually tell you which is the best one or which is the thing that really gets the result, but I can tell you that whole range of services has significantly lowered the failure rates. Our surveys show that around about 70% of our clients who have been through part of our program, 70% of those people are surviving in business 2 years from that survey date. Now, we think that's pretty good. In fact, it's a reverse of the normal business failure rate.
Business Grow is one quite innovative support service offered by the Capital Development Agency. This was originally an initiative of the Christchurch City Council, and with government and private enterprise sponsorship, it has now become a national program in New Zealand.
Business Grow's core role is to provide a central referral service to all the forms of assistance that may be available in the area, and businesses can make use of that if that's what they choose to do. we spend most of our time actually out of the office, literally driving down a street, parking the car, getting out and knocking on the door of every business in that street.
And sometimes just by talking these things through, it highlights areas that they could have assistance, which would free them up to do more of a managerial role. We've had something like 12,000 contacts with businesses. In that time, I would have perhaps been asked or told that they didn't need our service by no more than half a dozen businesses.
I think the thing about Business Grow is that it goes out, it bangs on a door of a business, it's confidential, it's probably the first service that a lot of businesses have ever seen, and it's a signpost. It says, if you want to do this, this is the way to do it. If you want to do that, this is the way to do it. So it's a free and confidential service that supports the business sector, and at the same time is a sort of a catchment vehicle for a whole lot of programs. Most of the businesses have got their head down, bum up. They haven't got time to actually chase around town finding what support's available for them, and it's a really good tool.
Company Rebuilders is another tool designed to save jobs by helping to rescue businesses in danger of collapse.
We're basically all retired people who have been in either top executive or general management positions. And if we get a referral, we go into that particular company, try and establish what the problems are, and then work through with the owner and try and solve what that particular problem may be. We believe that on the basis we work on, we've been instrumental in saving about 2,500 jobs. And instrumental in job creation, which is perhaps a more accurate figure of about 402 people at this stage.
Business Link is another program that has its origins in Christchurch and the Canterbury region. It's a computerised database which stores information on products and services available from various regions of New Zealand.
The whole idea behind Business Link is to position relevant information in front of targeted companies in a way that is likely to create a business opportunity. The creation of a business opportunity means more economic activity in the company, means growth, means more jobs.
The way it works is anyone within New Zealand or within the world can basically have access to the system, and when I say access, it's a means of they can fill out a purchase inquiry form or contact us about their requirements, and we will actually provide information if they're looking to purchase a product or service. Big two key words about Business Link are really relevant information and targeting it to the right businesses.
Christchurch also has a yearly calendar packed with events and festivals calculated to have a positive effect on local economic development.
Christchurch is a very sort of fenced society. You'll see a lot of fences between houses. People don't naturally live on the street or interact on streets, so you've almost got to make it happen for them. So we've deliberately created a lot of events and helped other community groups and businesses bring events and festivals and all sorts of things to the city as well, so that there is a huge diversity of things to do. We have our own events unit which runs a number of the festivals, and then we literally fund a number of other festivals so that there are other organisers. So you've got a diversity of organisers, but having your own events unit is great because you've always got in-house lobbyists for those sorts of things full time, and that's important because you're always competing for resources against the sort of engineers and roading and traffic and all those traditional things of local government. We know sort of from some of our little studies, things like the Festival of Romance, that during that time retail sales on things like Valentine's cards and flowers and things like that went up 800%. So there is a sort of an immediate spin-off from those. But they're things that are really hard to quantify. I mean, there are a whole pile of models that you can use to do it. Mostly, I think, they are about actually having fun and people feeling good. If people are feeling good, the spin-offs are huge.
Feeling good is also important when it comes to a community's self-image. Both Wellington and Christchurch have conducted campaigns to turn attitudes around, establish a more positive image, and encourage further economic development and employment.
There's always been a perception that Wellington was bleak and cold and a grey city, grey-suited people. And if we could turn that perception around and make Wellingtonians themselves believe that Wellington was exciting and vibrant, then that would be good for the city.
Back in '92, when things were looking pretty glum and we're all feeling fairly sorry for ourselves, the local papers came to us and said, look, let's make the place positive. Let's try and turn the tide of this negativity. And there were all sorts of small businesses, people that had been unemployed, that had gone out and made something of their lives and started business.
Whenever we had a good story, whenever anybody's done something against the odds, we've tried to get it out into the media. The guy here who made my tie, we thought it was a pretty good tie. I bought it. We got him in front of the TV. We said, hey, here's a good guy, he's making a tie, he was unemployed, now he's got shops in Christchurch, Auckland and Sydney.
And we did this series of ads for the local newspaper about how positive it was. And if you had the right attitude, then you could do anything. And at the bottom of the ad, we had absolutely positively Wellington. Well, it just took off. Everyone said, this absolutely positively Wellington, we want some of this. So companies were waving flags, you know, and the whole merchandising thing happened as well. So there were t-shirts and umbrellas and flags and banners and all sorts of things. And it really took off.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me.
Oh, love was out to get me. That's the way it seems. Disappointment humming on my cheek.
There's so many things. I mean, if we can change attitudes, if we can work attitudes, then you get a belief. Once you've got a belief, you're unstoppable.